Your favorite part of the weekend has finally arrived. Number 24, part number 1. This is WWE Off The Script, your number one source for all WWE. Right here on YouTube.com. TNA, Impact Wrestling, and Spike TV. What is the real reason behind the cancellation of Impact Wrestling off of Spike TV, plus my thoughts and opinions on all this chaos with TNA Impact Wrestling. Don't go anywhere. Hand me my beverage. Hit my fucking music. And let's get number 24 started, guys. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back.
I see the line in the sand. Time to find out who I am. Looking back to see where I stand. Evolution.
What's going on, guys? Did you miss JD this week, being that I didn't do a Monday Night Raw review? I know. Most of you were asking me, JD, where's the Raw review, man? How come you're not doing a Raw review, man? I'm busy, guys. I'll tell you what I was busy with. I was busy hitting 18,000 subscribers here on YouTube. Thank you guys very much. I worked my fucking ass off this week, bringing you guys daily content, and hopefully that paid off. That actually put me over the hump. Finally got to 18,000. We're on our way to 19. My goal for the end of the year, we got August, September, October, November, December, okay? I want to hit, realistically, I know it probably won't happen, but realistically, I want to achieve 25,000 subscribers before the end of the year. I know you guys can do it. Spread the word of this channel. Spread the word of the WWE and Off The Script, as well as my Monday Night Raw reviews. This is why I always say, before I start my programming each and every week, this is your number one source on YouTube.com for WWE content. I don't say shit for the sake of saying shit. I truly mean it. I'm a fan. You're fans. And all together, we're one big happy family. Thank you guys very much for 18,000 subscribers. Looking forward to another 18,000. Let's get to 21st. I'm hoping to do 20 by, I'd say, October. All right? And then we can push forward to 25. So thank you guys very much once again. If you did indeed miss Off The Script last week, link is right down below. Go and check that out. I got big news stories on John Cena, CM Punk, etc., etc. So if you guys did indeed miss that, or if it missed your sub boxes, those links are down below. Go and catch up before you go ahead and watch this weekend's Off The Script, okay? And of course, as always, I got to show some love to my boy LeBar, Justin LeBar, Josh Eisenberg, and Brian Ghoulish. Chairshot Reality, WrestleZone.com. Those links are down below to their homepage. They have a new episode going up today between the hours of 12 and 2. Go and check them out. The number one talk show on the internet in regards to wrestling, anything wrestling, TNA, WWE, whatever. They know it all. They got it all. The best guys on the internet right now for that type of content. Go and check them out. WrestleZone.com. Chairshot Reality, LeBar, Eisenberg, and Ghoulish. Go over there, show them some love, and tell them JD from NY sent you over there. And like I said, they usually upload between the hours of 12 and 2, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. All weekend long, they got you covered, all right? Now, before I get into this TNA stuff, man, this is a lot of fucking news. This is not late-breaking news. I know you guys watch other guys on YouTube who cover the news daily, up to the minute, 16 videos a day. I know Sean's View's been all over this. I know. This is not new information, okay? But what I've done for you is I compiled all the information that I know of, and I'm giving it to you in one video. This is all going to be a TNA video, okay? There's not going to be any other news regarding WWE in this part. I'm going to save that for parts 2 and 3. I got big news stories on Sting. I got big news stories on the WWE stock and the WWE Network and how disappointing the numbers were coming out of today's press conference regarding that. I'll talk about that a little later, but this is going to be an all TNA special, okay? Now, I'm going to start off with the earliest news that I got up to the latest information that I have recovered regarding TNA. First, TMZ, the tabloid news site that covers movies and all those fucking movie stars out there, TMZ, okay, has confirmed the rumors going around about Spike TV canceling TNA. I believe WrestleZone.com was the first. TMZ actually took credit for that, which I personally don't appreciate. I would be very upset if TMZ stealing stories from my news source. So TMZ confirmed rumors going around about Spike TV canceling TNA. The report notes that Spike TV quietly let them know they are not renewing their contract. They also noted that according to multiple sources, Spike TV executives contacted TNA president Dixie Carter this week to break the news to her. She then informed members of her inner circle. TNA's current deal is said to run through October, and it's not clear when Impact will stop airing on Spike TV. TMZ also noted that there is no bad blood, and they gave TNA advance notice so they could shop around for a new TV deal. Okay? Now, going on. News via Figure4WOnline.com. Spike TV's decision not to renew TNA's Impact Wrestling contract came just a few days after Spike TV found out Vince Russo was still working for TNA. Spike was not happy when they found out Vince Russo was still working for TNA. While there's speculation that this could have been the straw that broke the proverbial camel's back, there was still no new deal in place 2 weeks ago before they found out Russo still had ties with TNA. It said that Russo's involvement with TNA played a big factor in Spike TV not renewing Impact, but they likely would not have renewed anyway. When the news of Russo working with TNA was recently confirmed, there were a lot of people in TNA worried because of what's happening now. Moving on. There is talk that we may get word on TNA's future on Spike TV as soon as the end of this week. If TNA loses their deal with Spike TV, then this could be the end of Impact Wrestling and the company overall. On Wrestling Observer Live, okay, with Brian Alvarez and Dave Meltzer. Those two were asked by a caller, and his response was, "My opinion is that we shall wait and see, and this may very well be a newsworthy week," as far as Dave Meltzer notes. But again, let's just wait and see. Is that cryptic enough for everyone, says Dave Meltzer. Brian Alvarez also noted that there is just over a month left on their deal with Spike TV, and even if something bad did happen with TNA, there are other opportunities, perhaps. Dixie Carter had a meeting this week at the Nashville offices. They are trying to keep things quiet as of right now. Hopefully they were able to work out a deal, but right now things don't sound too good for TNA. Okay, moving on. Dave Meltzer noted this on Wednesday in today's, I took this from Wednesday. Dave Meltzer noted in Wednesday's Figure 4 Online Daily Update that there are some big stories that may potentially break this week. One of them is the WWE Network subscription numbers. WWE will be doing a press conference call this Thursday to announce the updated subscription numbers, which I'll talk about this coming weekend. I got all the information on that as well. He mentioned that there are two other stories that are not done deals yet. I am pretty sure one of them is the TNA Spike TV talks and whether or not TNA will announce a new deal. If they don't announce a deal, then it's very likely that the company will be dead unless they can convince another strong cable company to pick them up. Regarding TNA's situation with Spike TV, Jim Ross posted the following on his blog this week. It's curious that Spike hasn't renewed Impact Wrestling as of yet for the new fall season. That's not a great sign, and I hope that they do renew their relationship. Spike doesn't have an overabundance of shows that draw a million plus viewers every week, and that's in prime time each week. That number could easily be escalated over time, says Jim Ross. Okay, moving on. While Viacom, parent company of Spike TV, they own VH1 and MTV, yada, 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 okay? while Viacom, parent company of Spike TV, and TNA, have both said that they are still in negotiations, multiple sources have confirmed TMZ's story that Spike informed Dixie Carter in a meeting that they were not interested in renewing the deal for Impact Wrestling. Multiple sources report that there are two key reasons Spike doesn't want to renew. They didn't believe the product was cost effective for what they pay for it, and the fact they were outright lied to about Vince Russo's status with the company. Again, there is the whole aura of Vince Russo coming back into play. Spike TV was pissed off that TNA lied about Vince Russo working for the company, okay? You don't do that to the people that are fucking housing your television program every week. If they don't want, if they vehemently, I think that's the word I'm looking for, don't want someone on their programming, on their cable network, working for one of their shows, then don't do it. Abide by their rules. I don't understand why Dixie Carter brought in Vince Russo anyway. It's not like the product or the program was getting any better regardless, okay? TNA had already denied Russo working for them, and when Russo meant to email TNA employees but accidentally emailed Mike Johnson of PW Insider, TNA went into panic mode because Spike had made it clear they didn't want Russo involved. I noted earlier on WWE Off The Script that Russo was working for TNA, but now is again done. I think I did mention that. I don't know if I did or not, but I'm mentioning it here now, okay? Spike TV reportedly wanted to make the situation as amendable as possible, okay? Which would be the opposite of what they did with WWE back in 2005. Spike won't be talking publicly about the deal or making any statements that would hurt TNA's leverage. Apparently, if TNA is able to land a new TV deal, Spike is willing to make the transition as smooth as possible. Even though TNA's contract with Spike expires in 2 months, there has been no word on a specific date that they will take TNA's programming off the air. Moving on. There's some speculation that Spike officials telling Dixie Carter that they won't be renewing the deal is just a hardball negotiating tactic, just like not having a deal this late is. Many people, including fans, point out that most major networks already have their fall primetime schedule filled up and decided on. People in the TV industry do not believe that United Talent Agency, which has been representing TNA in negotiations, has a backup plan. Within the TV industry, there is a lack of interest in pro wrestling due to the inability to get premium advertising revenue. There is also talk that Spike is willing to keep the show but wants to cut down on the licensing fees that they pay. We've also noted that there's speculation, even among industry experts like Jim Ross, that Spike could be looking to their own wrestling company by purchasing TNA, okay? Like they did with Bellator MMA. Moving on, TNA has sent emails to their talents saying the reports of Spike TV not renewing Impact Wrestling are false. It was said on the recent episode of the Wrestling Observer radio show that TNA officials were playing it the same that they did when the sales rumors started last year. They are apparently expecting good news and will update the wrestlers when they have it. Moving on. Regarding how much money TNA has lost over the years, an exact figure is not known. As of 3 years ago, they had lost roughly about $45 million. They slowed some of their losses after that, but have still been losing a lot of money. Regarding WWE's reaction to all this news about TNA and Spike TV, and the fact that TNA will not be renewing TNA Impact Wrestling, they were aware this week, but the main topic right now within WWE is their network subscribers and the announcement that will be coming on Thursday, which was already announced this morning. And what's going on with TNA right now is only secondary as far as what's being talked about among people in the WWE. Moving on, it was speculated on the latest episode of the Wrestling Observer radio show that WWE would likely offer to purchase TNA's tape library if for some reason TNA couldn't get picked up by another network. The going rate for something that like that is around $500 per hour of footage. TNA has over 1,000 hours of just Impact Wrestling footage alone. And finally, regarding TNA possibly getting picked up by other networks, it was also said that not having Hulk Hogan is hurting them when it comes to interest from other stations. That is a lot of fucking news, my friends, about TNA, okay? Now, you guys want my fucking opinion about TNA? I was never a fan of TNA Wrestling. I was never a fan of Impact. I was never a fan for the entire time they've been around, okay? Do you guys want to know? Do you guys want to know the reason why TNA has failed? The real reason why TNA has failed as a wrestling company. The real reason why TNA is in the position they are in right now is because they are too fucking concerned about what the WWE is doing. They are worried about their competition instead of worrying about themselves. They are running their company to try and compete with the WWE. Regardless of the WWE, they should be concerned about running their business to the best of their ability, making sure what is best for their business each week that they go on the air on Spike TV. What they've been doing is watching WWE. They're concerned with WWE. They're trying to mimic storylines from WWE. That's not the way you run your business, man. You worry about what you have on your roster, okay? Pretend WWE doesn't even exist. Yes, they're number one. Yes, they're the biggest fucking dog in the yard. But what you try to do is you try to scratch and claw at the WWE. Meanwhile, you don't even put a dent in their armor, okay? Worry about running your business the way it's meant to be run. Forget the WWE. You have a lot of other things to be concerned about. Keeping your fucking roster happy, making sure your in-ring product is up to par. Nobody gives a fuck what kind of ring you have, a 4-sided ring, a 6-sided ring. TNA is confused. They don't know who they want to be. I don't understand what is so difficult about running TNA. They have so much prime talent over there. You, me, and everyone else who is into wrestling could probably do a better job than half of the fucking clowns they got running TNA right now. Dixie Carter is a fucking clueless idiot. I'll tell you this right now, and I'm being completely honest with you. The real reason why TNA is failing, and it has failed, is because they're too worried about WWE. They're not concerned about what they have as a core down in Orlando. They don't. They don't care what they have. They're worried about competing with WWE. They see themselves as the next step down to WWE, as the alternate programming to WWE. No, you don't look at yourself like that. Fuck them. Fuck them. Don't worry about what Vince is doing. Okay? As far as you're concerned, they don't exist. Okay? Another reason why they failed, and I don't understand how this is possible, they brought in Kurt Angle, who is probably one of the best technical wrestlers ever. They brought in Hulk Hogan, who is probably the biggest superstar ever. They brought in Eric Bischoff, who's got one of the best minds in the business. You brought in Jeff Hardy, who's probably one of the most popular wrestlers ever. You brought in Ric Flair, who's probably the biggest WWE champion, world champion in professional wrestling history. Okay, you had Sting on the roster. You got guys like Samoa Joe. You had AJ Styles until you let him go. I don't understand, man. I don't understand. You bring in all these guys to try and get ratings, but you failed, man. You put all this money in the older guys. Why? At one point, TNA was pushing Flair, was pushing Hogan, was pushing Sting. That's not the way to run your business properly. You got all these young guys. Mold your young guys into the stars of tomorrow. They didn't give a shit about the young guys. They pushed the young guys to the back in light of pushing Hogan and Flair and Sting. You got Bobby Roode. You got Samoa Joe. You had AJ Styles. You got Gunner. You got all these guys over there. Now they're trying to push their younger guys. Now they're trying to push guys like Magnus and all these other guys that they got, this youth that they have over there. And it's too little too late. It's too little too late now. You know, you had all this fucking stars in your eyes. You had all this hope of competing with WWE. You try and bring in all these known guys, but it didn't even fucking dent the armor of WWE. It did nothing. It did nothing. Now they're failing. Now they got no home as of October. What are you going to do now? What are you going to do now? I don't want to see TNA close. I don't. I don't want to see guys go out of business. I don't want to see guys lose their job. They got talented guys down in Orlando that could be utilized. They're worried. You know, you guys don't understand. You know, some of you guys are too young to even understand what it is to be in the workforce. You know, to have, you know, fear of losing your job. How are you going to get by? How are you going to pay the rent? How are you going to pay, you know, the bills at the end of the month? How are you going to provide food for your family? How am I going to take care of my family? Etc., etc. I don't want TNA to go out of business. You know, they got a lot of talented individuals down there that love doing what they're doing, and they don't want to see anything happen to TNA, the stuff that they work so hard to achieve, to build that brand. You know, I don't want to see that happen. I don't want to see the wrestling industry become, you know, this one superpower again, you know, just having WWE. Ring of Honor is never going to compete, man. Ring of Honor is, you know, for those guys who love independent wrestling. TNA, if it's gone, I don't know, man. Competition. I really wish TNA had the resources and the power to compete with WWE. It would keep WWE on its toes. You know, it's sad to say, but the only competition WWE has right now is the WWE. NXT is the best competition that WWE Raw, SmackDown, and their pay-per-views have. Because the young guys that work their asses off down there, and they do these live specials, they're on the WWE Network every week, that's the programming to watch. That's the programming the guys on WWE main roster should be watching. Holy shit, these guys are fucking outschooling us, man. They're putting on better shows than we are. They're putting on better in-ring performances than us guys on the main roster. I don't want to see that happen. I don't want to see TNA go out of business, but the real reason why TNA is failing is because they're worried about the WWE. On top of what I read here, they lied to Spike TV about Vince Russo. Vince Russo's not wanted in wrestling anymore. You know, he's just not wanted anymore. He's seen his day. His Attitude Era days, yes, they were fantastic. But now, you can't do what he did back then now. It's not going to be the same. And if it does feel like that, it's only going to be recycled. Okay? The real reason why TNA is to blame is because of their stupidity. They brought in the old guys, pushed the younger guys to the side, and they're trying to compete with WWE. Meanwhile, they were never a viable competitor to WWE. So if TNA and Dixie Carter and the Carter family have anyone to blame, look themselves in the mirror and they'll see who is to blame, staring right back at them. That's my opinion on TNA, man. I don't want to see them go out of business, but they are to blame for what is going on right now, okay? Chance WWE buys TNA? I don't think so. You know, it would be great to see TNA on the WWE Network if that happens. That would bring in a lot of subscriptions for Vince. You know, put TNA on WWE Network. Give them, you know, the budget to do that. But you know, Vince has got fucking money flying all over the place. I don't think he wants to buy TNA. I don't think he's interested in TNA. I don't even think he's interested in their tape library. The only thing that he may very well be interested is their tape library. I don't even think he wants any talent from TNA, to be quite honest with you. There's only maybe 3 or 4 guys I would take from TNA and bring them over to WWE, and that would be Magnus, Samoa Joe, Jeff Hardy, and Kurt Angle. That's it. Everybody else can, you know, take a walk. I really don't care about anybody else right now. But, like I said, the main reason why TNA failed is because of their own stupidity. They worried about what WWE was doing all these years, and it did them no good. Instead of concentrating on their own product, they try to be a viable competitor to WWE. Meanwhile, they were never even close. Worry about what's going on down in Orlando. Put on the very best possible show you can put on. Worry about the in-ring talent. Worry about what's going on in the ring. Become a little bit more physical. Stand out on your own. Give fans what they want. Fuck these cheesy storylines. Give us the real wrestling. This is why people tuned into TNA, for wrestling. You know, people don't watch. Jim Ross says this all the time. People don't watch professional wrestling after a long day of work, 3 hours of Raw, 2 hours of SmackDown, 2 hours of Impact. People don't watch wrestling weekly, okay, to watch storylines, to watch dialogue. They want to see 2 guys go at it in the ring, bell to bell, rope to rope, 15 to 20 minutes. Who's the better guy? The athleticism. This is why we watch. We don't watch for storylines, man. TNA tried to do everything the WWE was doing, and they failed. They failed. And now look at them. Potentially could be going out of business. And you heard it here first. I've been saying it from the beginning of the year. I said my prediction was TNA is not going to last until 2015. I see them done by the end of the year, and I very well may be right about this. But I don't want it to happen. I'm sure you guys don't want it to happen. just for the sake of all those guys working down there. I don't want to see nobody lose their job. But that is the latest on TNA. Let me know what you think down below in the description. What you guys think is the real reason why TNA is being canceled from Spike TV, with potentially them going out of business completely. Let me know what you think down below. I really believe that their main thing is trying to compete with WWE and, you know, them not differentiating themselves from WWE. They tried to compete. They were too worried about what WWE was doing, and they just didn't really mold their product the best that they could, okay? They had to stand out on their own. They had to do their own thing, and it just wasn't good for business. So let me know what you guys think down below of why you think TNA was canceled. And then part 2, guys, I'm going to end it here. Part 2, I got a big story on Randy Orton, an enormous backstage update on huge heat on Randy Orton and Roman Reigns. What did Randy Orton do to Roman Reigns that has the WWE, Vince, Triple H, and everybody just fucking fuming at Randy Orton? I got the big news story. Also got a news story on Sting. Sting is meeting with Vince at SummerSlam weekend. You're not going to want to miss Off the Script parts 2 and 3, guys. I got a lot of news coming up. Stick with me. Let me know what you think about TNA. I'm out. Leave a like on your way out the door. It greatly helps out my channel. Check out the videos down below if you missed anything previously. And I will see you guys on Saturday, part 2, Off the Script. I'm JD, and I'll talk to you all very soon.